Welcome back. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are doing the Denver Broncos 3 round mock draft and breaking down the players that we selected for them and why. But before we do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new Broncos content. We have Broncos 3 rounds and 7 round mock drafts leading up all the way to the 2024 NFL draft. Also, every Monday we are releasing an individual mock draft for each other. Also, we have a goal of getting to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the Super Bowl. We're doing a 3 round mock draft video for all 32 teams. So we need just 15 or 16 new subscribers per video. So to help us reach our goal is the easiest way by just hitting that subscribe channel. And we appreciate that greatly. So, Brian, let's pull up the slide here. Quickly, just to orient you, obviously the name in bold, that is the Denver pick. We did include a couple of picks before and after just to provide some context on who was available and not available when they selected at the 12th overall position. Also to the right, we did also include some other potential options of players that were available that they could take here at 12th overall. So we ended up going with Dallas Turner here, the edge rusher. They did just miss out on Jared Verse. Jersey Newton was also available. And I think Cooper DeJean, they could also go corner here as well as Nate Wiggins and Cooper DeJean were also available. I think the world's their oyster here at the 12th pick. I don't think they can trade up. I don't know if they have the draft capital, but I think because of that, I think they will be more than satisfied to take any player here at 12. But I also think there's a potential trade back possibility for some teams trying to get up and go and get a J.C. Latham or potentially maybe Brian Thomas Jr., who was taken a couple picks later after this. And they can maybe get some draft capital because I think from their 45th pick that we'll get to here in a second to their next pick, it was like over 100 selections. So maybe get a couple more depth pieces there if they don't truly love any of the guys. But that being said, though, Dallas Turner's my number one edge rusher in the class. I know you really like Jared Verse. Who
They're
would you
1A,
rather see?
1B, just kind of whoever.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of this pick overall, and what are some other routes that the Broncos could go, in your opinion?
Yeah, I really like Dallas Turner as a prospect. He was very productive at the college level, playing at Alabama and at the highest level of the SEC. And then also, I think you look at his productivity next to Will Anderson Jr. last year. He has all the physical tools you want. He's very physical. He's good against the run. He's obviously a great pass rusher. And yeah, I really like what he brings to the table. I think if you look at this Denver defense, one of the things that they really struggled with was getting pressure on the quarterback. And so I think being right in the range to get one of the top, not just top edge rushers, but top defenders as a whole here at 12 in this draft class. I mean, Dallas Turner, if he were in last year's draft, I think would have been a top 8 pick, if not even maybe a little higher. But I think he's better than Tyree Wilson was last year, and the Raiders took him at 7. They get a guy better than that at 12 here, and I think that's really good value for the Denver Broncos. He's just a great edge rusher. So
Yeah, as I said, I just don't think they can go wrong here. Even
yeah,
into this is one of my first mock drafts. I had the mock going Bo Nix here. If they really loved him, and Sean Payton's like, this is the guy I could really see working with and everything, or Michael Penix or even JJ McCarthy, I could see them even going QB here. That's it. I wouldn't honestly hate that pick if they wanted to move on from Russell Wilson. Try and get some young talent that Sean Payton can mold, as he is still one of the better offensive minds in the NFL today. So very curious on what the Broncos do here over these next couple of months. We'll get a lot more information, but really this is kind of that area of the draft where it's like anybody could go here. I even think then too, like let's go, like Terry and Arnold was taken 20th overall, and Troy Franklin was taken 23rd. I could see them maybe if they fall in love with them taking them here.
yeah.
Like that's what's going to be so crazy about this first round, this draft as a whole, is where all these great talents going to go. And so let's move on, though, to the second pick here. So we have them go with Mike Sandstrill. They do not have the the second pick in this draft. And so I have them going with cornerback here, getting some more depth. But once again, I think they can go a lot of different directions, I think, in this third round here. What do you think of this player overall? And what are some other potential options you could see the Broncos going?
Yeah, he's a very versatile guy from Michigan. One of the leaders of that defense, actually, that was the top in the nation last year. So again, I really like what he brings to the table, especially for a secondary that outside of Patrick Surtain had a lot of moving parts and kind of questionable pieces last year. I think getting a versatile guy like Mike Sandstro would be good. JJ McCarthy was on the board here at this point. I'm not a JJ McCarthy fan. I think a lot of what he did at Michigan was hand the ball off and do that a lot, and then get some easier reads and bootlegs. And yeah, he would fit a ball in a tight window here or there. But again, just not a lot to me that really showed true NFL talent. And I could be eating my words in a couple years, but I think the Denver Broncos would be better served avoiding that and maybe potentially trading back and getting a Bo Nix in the first round if they do really want to pursue a quarterback in the draft instead of going after one in free agency. So I really like this pick. It's a very versatile guy on the back end of this defense. I think you throw him in a defense with Dallas Turner and a defense in front that can get some pressure. I think him and Patrick Surtain would have a lot of success together.
Yeah. And I do want to clarify one thing from what I said earlier as well. I was getting them and the Saints confused because the Saints had their second-round pick. But still, there is a big gap between Denver's first-round pick, this pick, and then their following pick as well. It's about 50 picks in between. So that's where potentially that could be a trade back position. So if you're still here with us in the video, I just want to clarify that. But I agree with everything that you said here. And so keep building up on that back end as well in the secondary, especially the two being in the AFC West with. You still got then Devontae Adams, and you're going to have Justin Herbert and that crazy offense. And then obviously then too, the Chiefs are kind of good as well. So let's just quickly recap here. So they only had 2 picks in the top 100, focusing on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of looking back on it, I will say just knowing Sean Payton, I think he's going to want to get his guys in there. Wouldn't be surprised if they use one of these picks as an offensive player as well. Maybe they do take Brian Thomas Jr., who was available, get the receiver that he wants in there, and then maybe trade up and try and go get a quarterback that he likes if he wants to get a quarterback, or maybe they'll try and do some shopping in the free agency as well. I will say this was one of the teams. So in this mock draft, we did end up trading Justin Fields because the Bears drafted Caleb Williams overall. And this was a team that we thought about real briefly on trading for. But the only thing, and just to let you know, we ended up trading him to the Falcons because, well, one, it's my channel, and so it's more fun for me. But secondly, though, too, they do have more draft capital, and it wasn't they also have more, I would say, enticing draft capital as well for the Chicago Bears to go and pick. While the Broncos, they just don't really have it. They have the first and then a third. So what they
had a late 4th or early 5th, I believe.
Late 4th, and then an early. So they had the Miami 4th, and then the Jets 5th, and then they have their original 5th. So they only have 6 picks total as of right now.
Yeah.
In the 20,
whereas the Falcons have 4 in the top 100.
Yeah, they have 4 in the top 100 thanks to the Calvin Ridley trade. Potentially even then, too, if the Jags re-sign Calvin Ridley, then they'll have 2 picks in the second round. So it'll be even more enticing for the Falcons to hey, let's give up something a little bit more because then we still have the second-round pick if we want to try and go get Justin Fields. So it is entirely possible that Justin Fields goes to the Broncos. I'm not saying that it's not. But I don't know if they're going to have to give up a little bit more future draft capital. And I will say, I don't know if Sean Payton's going to want to do that. He's already came into this organization with they had to trade up into the second round last year, and now they don't have a second-round pick, and they only have 6 picks as of right now. He might not want to sacrifice all that draft capital considering the way the team is at right now. And they need more help on the defensive line. They need some help in the secondary as well. They also probably could improve the offensive line a little bit more. Probably want to improve the quarterback position a lot in Sean Payton's eyes. So that's where I'm just curious about with their overall philosophy in this draft. And I'm curious to see what they do over the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting watching the Denver Broncos. They're definitely going to be one of the teams that have the I would say most active, not because they have a lot of pieces to move, but just because they have the necessity to go and make a lot of changes. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It's the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this Broncos 3-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.